that was my daughter E's thesis about why does it people post Evernote, Instagram images of food. What's your theory about why people post pictures of their food so much? Why is that so popular?
They're happy about it.
People like food. Sure.
Sort of things that you kind of, it's a very direct personal pleasure, right? It's not, you might be happy about having a nice steam bath, right? But you don't really, it's not direct, something that gives you personal pleasure, you don't necessarily broadcast. And that's not part of that. So what is the motivation to post so much?
Maybe an image thing or a status. Saying, like, this is what I can afford to eat, but instead of eating it, I'm not taking a picture of it.
I think I thought it was an interesting thesis. It's the jealousy thesis. I mean, like, look how delicious my life is, right? I have such a delicious life.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy, right? Sorry?
I think I'm like a 4 years.
Yeah, that looks delicious. By extension, someone seeing your food as delicious is projecting that you're delicious, and somehow that's associated with you, right? It's this, I don't know, it's interesting psychology that I've found. I had a long distance relationship for a long time. Part of that relationship was we sent photographs of every meal that we had to each other. But that was a very personal thing, because sharing food with partner, with family, with kin is kind of primary, right? The knowledge of what somebody's eating is a very intimate thing, not this kind of broadcast, hey, look at my cupcake, right? So I found it a very peculiar thesis. Why is it the second most popular Instagram hashtag after food? Is the most popular.
Wow.
Second most is flowers. Why is flowers?
I haven't managed to see flowers.
Look at hashtag flowers. How many are there?
55 million.
And how many for food?
Wow. 189 million.
Okay.
189 million pictures of food. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So Unity, I'm sending you, actually you can do a search. Do a search on, I'm going to spend half an hour. Each one of you do a different tutorial for this while you're setting it up. Let me just give you my little speech on new technologies. New technologies, we are by definition kind of fetish, neophiles, right? Something new and novel, right, is of course interesting, right? That's what some basic wiring, something novel, new, we're all neophiles. Does that make it good or right? No, but does it make it an important opportunity? to ask of that technology, what is this opportunity? How can we use this for desirable social and environmental change? That's what we must ask of every new technology, because every technology is an opportunity. It's not determined. We don't know if these 3D videos are going to replace travel, right? They could just as well encourage it as it has in history. We don't know what, but our fundamental opportunity to do with that neo-fetishism of new technology is to say, don't ask what this technology can do for us. Ask what we can do for this technology. How can we use it to produce the kind of desirable social and environmental change? That is the big theme song, the big reason why I have chosen as my media. And by default, actually, we all do it. We're all looking for new things. That's how social change propagates. But new technology is really important to seize. Because if we don't seize it and use it for the good and delightful, what happens with new technology? As a kind of first approximation.
Exploited.
Sorry?
Exploited.
Exploited by who? Who's got the money to develop all the apps? Technology, as in general, is resource intensive, right? Complicated, it's expensive, as opposed to, that's what new technology is, basically, resource intensive. Therefore, it tends to be used for and in the interests of the military. Look at drones, right? Corporations. Things that are in the interests of corporations and the military aren't necessarily in the interest of human health and biodiversity, right? They don't have to be opposed, but your job, your really important job, is to ask, what can I do with this new technology? This is your opportunity. At your age, and this, no one else is going to be in a better position to do something, to imaginatively use it, to exert, to exalt, to explore what is possible. I mean, you could try and do it with, as we said, nuclear power plants. We could try and do it with existing old technology. But what's the advantage of using new technology? It's exciting. Is there embedded interest there yet? If you do something cool, it's going to get noticed, right? Your new design of a nuclear power plant may or may not get noticed, right? There's just not Fast Company doing a lot of articles on nuclear power plant design, right? There's a general techno-fetishism that you can take advantage of. This is your big opportunity. Without having, a team of developers, without having a corporate account, without having an advertising firm, without having anything. If you can do something cool and interesting with with these 3D, they don't even have to be good, right? They're just going to say, look at these 5 things that have been done with this new 3D camera, because they're just desperate for material. So it's your opportunity to use new technology to explore what is possible, to explore these larger themes. They've got nothing to do with the technology, right? So that's why we're going to spend the next 20 minutes doing a tutorial on Unity.
It's 12 o'clock.
So if you, the best tutorials, you know, at NYU, you have a subscription to, well, just if you have a look, do a search on Unity tutorial, absolute beginner, or wherever you're at with the
In this beginner.
okay. I want you each to choose a different tutorial, and work on, or if you want to, we don't quite have pairs, do we? And maybe if you pair up, I suppose that's pair and non-pair. Maybe can you pair with one of them too? And find the tutorial that you like. Spend, we've got 15 minutes on it now, and then give us a little 5-minute review. And this is the idea, again, of creating a collective memory space as a presentation space that can house both memories and possibilities of our shared space. Ideally, we would have a draft that we could present to Heather on Thursday.
What time?
Sorry?
What time?
What time did she say? I have it up here.
You said a phone call. That was
Yeah, I know she said a phone call. So I'm going to try and turn that phone call into an invasion.
so. Which one?
This one's actually really long, but it's coding community for the absolute beginner.
Do we need to download Unity?
Not much tutorial. Well, I don't know. I think there's some tutorials that are just like videos. It's not the program itself.
Do we just watch the video of the tutorial?
Yeah, how do you learn the best?
So we're pairing up, we're not doing each our own.
Would you prefer to pair up? I'm presuming you would. However you prefer. You are experts in your own learning style. So I would argue that stepping through each altogether at the same pace is the worst way to try and learn, and that we can learn best from each other if we each attack it in the way that we like to attack learning a new piece of software. And if you like to attack it in pairs or individually, or do it whichever way works best.
recording now, or you cancel it?
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter what it is.
So Natalie, we should do like a map first in AutoCAD of the La Guardia place in order to put it here. So maybe I can do it.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
So the actual situation, or
Whatever you can get.
Okay.
Just a little line drawing would be great.
yes, like fast.
Good. Can you tell me how it is? Okay. Who wants to share their knowledge? What they've learned so far? Best way to learn is to teach. Okay, you're our immunity expert, so you had
So I was looking at a tutorial for role of ball game, and so I need to do the program, and then the first things that you need to establish like the space that the game's in place. So you have the background and all that. You need to like either have a plane or square or something that's in your plane, I guess.
that's a great thing, because have you seen the video online that I've done for infiltration? You know, the No Parks project, which is taking no parking spaces and turning it into infiltration zones. Well, how do you find where to infiltrate road population best? Take a whole series of tennis balls, roll along along the ground, on the road, and see where they're all into. Right? And that will tell you the grade in a very graphic way. So, so we could use that to map the terrain, so that we could actually have infiltration areas that were capturing and filtering road population effectively. In fact, that would be great to take one of the parking spaces and say, let's make it into a little wetland. And maybe we could get those, you know, those lock things that they put on the cars to stop them from moving. You could get these an old axle, you know, 4 tires, put it in a wetland so that the tires become up, put a lock on it, and get a cool line and see if we could, if you know what I mean, take over the space that are taken over by what they call the handcuffing of the cars.
Like lookers, right?
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
They're the symbol of let's police and regulate. Right. Let's treat people as if they're criminal and have to be controlled, and instead of let's treat people as part of a productive part of participatory democracy. Sorry, I have a veterinary emergency right now, so I think that's a great thing that we could use the actual terrain of rolling In fact, I always like physical experiments better. Let's next class go down with a whole bunch of tennis balls and film that. Have you seen that beautiful San Francisco video of rolling balls? What was that for? You must have.
They like launched a bunch of bolts on top.
Yeah. Yeah. 250,000 bouncing balls in San Francisco streets. Yeah.
With Geico, I get 24/7 access to licensed agents. We now fast forward.
You have to install AdBlock in order to don't have.
Yeah. How do I? You really? Can you send it to me?
Yes, I can install you now.
Yes, please do.
It's like a plugin. But it works for Google. I don't know.
So this was just for what?
Nothing.
I mean, the kind of resources that are used for, yeah. It's fantastic, right? Totally fantastic. That kind of spectacle, if it's harnessed into actual, what do we do with that, right? It's not just an image. To use delight and exploration to transform. Right?
You know how they did this? Did they like get cleared?
This is the big secret. This is the biggest secret to everything. Oh, look at this. We've got a car being uplifted. Upwardly mobile car. How delightful. The big secret is, getting a building permit for the tree office, almost impossible. Get a film permit for building a set for a film that's a tree office. Easy. Do everything. Anything you want to do. Setting up a greenhouse for a curricula for a school because it makes real sense on tea and tea ecosystems, and no, you can't get a building permit for that. Get a film permit for setting up the same thing, and easy. In this city, anything, get anything through, call it a film. So we're doing it for Unity game film thing, right? Anything we're doing, it's a film permit. Yeah, okay, so quick, let's have a review. So we've got a ball rolling thing, which is, I think, lovely. Think about something like this. In fact, I have some footage somewhere. Do you know what looks delightful? Let's do this. Do we have them? Fishing line with ribbons on it. Long ribbons in a grid, tied from one building to the next building, various heights.
As we did with the windows.
But across the road, what will that show us?
Wing.
Exactly, the air movement. And what are we trying to address? We could have a beautiful display of how air quality, how much we can affect, how much is it swooshing around in there? How much could we swoosh it through leaves? As beautiful as as mesmerizing as those balls. I mean, those balls were all done in slow motion. But the thing about ribbons, they don't need to be. Right? We could, tie a ribbon, a series of ribbons across here, and just watching them flutter in the sky makes the invisible movement of air, which is this issue of air quality, which is the #1 human health risk, which we can act on, which we can do something about if we make it visual. Okay, who's got another? What did you learn on about Unity?
I also did
The rollerball. So the rollerball might be useful if you're a little salamander too, right? If you were mapping a squirrel. I mean, I suppose it's about programming gravity.
Yeah.
But could you find a tutorial for what if we made it? If we wanted to make the most productive little ecosystem, urban ecosystem in the world, are we going to do it by having people sit there on their hands and knees planting decorative military parade? Or are we going to harness a lot of non-humans to help us? Could we map the tracks of ants and squirrels and other non-humans in the same way the ball? Could we just show it as a whole lot of... Have you seen these beautiful animations of ant trails? Who uses processing? No. Processing is a scripting language for beautiful artist. Oh, this is the most beautiful. No, is this it? Yes. So what did you learn? Do you have anything to add to this for our collective knowledge to teach us about Unity? What we can use it for? What we can illustrate?
I also read about the camera part, and there are different kinds of camera angles you can use to achieve views for the user.
Okay, so we could have what I'm trying to find is a beautiful thing an artist did where she got confetti and then had the ants redistribute it. Again, we could try and model that, but wouldn't it be delightful to film that where you leave a whole lot of... I've got some food rice paper that we can make all sorts of different colors, and we can see where the ants take all the what kind of trails, how they take it around, where they take it to, what they do. There's a stationery store. Does anybody use that? I call it a stationery store. That's the UK English Australian term. What do you call it?
Copy center?
It's the copy center. It's a fantastic copy center. It's the cheapest place to do anything printed. You know that, right? Oh, that's another little secret. It took me 8 years to find that. You don't print at Bones. You print there. But what do they have? They have a lot of paper waste, right? So we could involve them. The news agency, stationery, what do you call it? Pens and papers and inks and on the corner of LaGuardia Place, the store on the corner. What do you call it?
You call it stationery.
You call it a stationery store? You
Not
do.
necessarily, but it works.
It works. You understand what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. So they're a local. Oh, do you know what? There's also a hairdresser there. Do you know what the best? Did you see around the oil spill in the Gulf? Did anybody donate hair to that?
My hair.
Hair is the best thing for absorbing oil.
Really?
Yeah. So they stuffed these very weird looking, they weren't stockings full of human hair. They had these kind of warped limbs of human hair, zombie things that were that people were donating their hair to. It's delightful. Yeah. So we could use the local resources there. Okay, what did you guys teach us about? What did you learn?
I was learning about movement in virtual reality. So they were just showing you, talking about what might be best for the user interface, and it was saying that a lot of people get VR sickness, which is kind of like that feeling that you get when you're on a train and you're sitting still, but everything around you is moving. So you have to design the game in a way so that you understand that you are stationary, and this is just technology that you're using. It's something that we're not used to yet, so they're working on it. But there's this thing called yaw, which is there's like when you're in a game and you're moving around a lot in all the different directions, there's roll, so like when you move like that, and then there's pitch when you move like that, back and forth, and then there's yaw, which is like that. And it was saying.
And do you know what that language is from? You've got halfway to your pilot's license.
Cool. That's so scary.
Yes.
I didn't know what it came from. I was like, what is yaw?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all that I got to.
So camera angle, camera placement is part of the language. Okay, cinematic language, to break it down, what his intuitions are. Yeah. One thing is this: the crisis of editing that the 3D image provides. Can't kind of tell the story because you can't direct where people are looking anymore, right? So it's a real, what do you do with that, right? It's a different sort of story. And we saw the example was one where you still have the linear narrative coming through the voice, but you have it as an experiential space as opposed to playing the narrative through the cuts, the jump edits. So the point is that where we put cameras and how we put cameras is really important. And I would argue that that's a great opportunity to think about. Can we put a camera on the back of a squirrel and explore the world and get, VR sickness by watching a squirrel?
They actually put cameras on coyotes.
Yeah.
In, was it Boston, I think? Coyotes.
There's a wonderful dear friend of mine, Alan Green, who's made a 20-year career of putting cameras on hedgehogs and cows and little shown in the Exploratorium all the time. You see the world from the kind of view of the delightful, right? Totally delightful.
They like look both ways before crossing the street. That's amazing.
Who does? The coyotes, yeah. Yes, fantastic. That's great. I'm sure how many flattened squirrels have you seen on the road? Not many. But maybe we can have squirrel bridges, right? Maybe we can have butterfly bridges and squirrel bridges going from Washington Square Park down to LaGuardia Place.
Have you seen the movie Nut Job on Netflix?
Net Job?
Nut Job.
Nut Job.
I don't think you would have. It's a children's movie, animated. I like to watch those things. I don't know. There's in the city, the squirrels trying to get around.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, send it to us. That's a nice reference.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
It's in Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to send, the one we were going to watch was the, and I'll send it to you, and I should go. I will put a camera on Whuppie the Wonder Puppy, and we'll see if we can get some footage from him around, because he likes to hang around this area.
There's a video on YouTube also of a dog going down to the ocean, just running after it. It wasn't virtual reality.
Right. So, Thursday, possible meeting. The idea is to turn up at the community person. I have actually called the number on the thing a few times and gotten through to the main line. I have no idea, and they put you through to, who do you want to speak to? Well, this was a number on the LaGuardia Place. Call for more information, inquiries. Oh, do you have an extension? Yeah, we're just finishing. We're done. So
I did some photo montage with butter.
Yeah.
You saw it with the butter bridge, with
You
the
did.
salamander.
you did. We'll get that ready. So Thursday, if you can come, I'll CC you all on the invitation. We may or may not be able to meet with her, but at least we'll be able to say, you know, we're exploring these other possibilities. And I would like to, by next week, plan an alternative poster to present beside, it's hanging up in the public space beside the ones that are already there in Bleecker Street and LaGuardia Place, that has both an invitation of some little images of possibilities, an invitation to come in and explore it on a Unity, on an ongoing development for Unity engine. Okay, see you next week. Oh, before you go, did you bring your things? Can you leave them with me? We've got to get them to the 3D scanner, I hope. And can you CC us all on a little note about what the flowers are? I'm not sure.
I do have a time
I think we have small bags
Yeah.
in the labs and
You have a timer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought I lost it. Learn from this one.
Yes. See again, forefronting the natural, the little small things to make them big. Yes?
Terrifying morning.
Yes.
No, I saw something.
Yeah, you can show your.
They're kind of dead.
Aw. These are delightful. So send a little note that we know what they are.
Yeah, some of them are kind of hard. This one I might not be able to figure out, but I'll just do my
Yeah.
best. I think I know what the others are.
Okay. Fernanda's going to put them in a box and we'll get them. Okay.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the story, isn't it?